I love bread. Rye, sourdough, all the flavours.
Rye, sourdough.
My favourite type of bread is rye or sourdough, obviously. I love bread.
Garlic bread.
I love bread.
I love bread.
I do love bread, yeah.
Favourite kind?
Rye.
I love bread.
What type of bread?
I mean, any bread, let's be honest. But my favourite, I think it's focaccia bread.
There were lots of fun moments. The clowning sequence, the weird clowning sequence that you may see in this, it was very weird and fun.
I think the funnest thing to film was certainly going to be the clown scene, the kind of advertising capitalist scene, which was just like a result of like total glorious madness, of like complete and utter exhaustion of 2 weeks of filming, and we all kind of just took advantage of the opportunity to completely let go and have a bit of a fun time.
I did enjoy doing the lifts. I like flying. I'm not normally lifted, even though I'm really short. I'm quite stocky, so I'm often the base. So getting to fly around the room with smoke and lights in the air, that was really fun.
That was sick. That was such a sick day. I just felt like a new world of potential like opened up in terms of like how to create work and stuff. Like it's something I've been interested in sort of for a while, like kind of since the pandemic, just because it's obviously accessible. And just like the little tricks that the trade, like he just sort of said, what if you do this, then like this way, like the audience are going to come along with you, and like because like when you're trying to film stuff sometimes, if without any expertise, like when I've just sort of done stuff over the pandemic, like it could just look so flat, like it's just like 2D, whatever, but when like the camera's coming with you and like contrasting the movement and stuff, like it's just, yeah, it's really interesting. Like can't wait to sort of try it out for myself.
This was such an interesting thing because it's like, okay, filming a theatre show, and then I was worried about simple things like camera settings while everyone's in the space, because at the same time you guys are still figuring it out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how on earth do I capture it? And it was very sort of one-dimensional, just thinking about it in a way of like, oh, how do I get it in the room? And then as soon as like Amari came in from Motion Dance Collective, and he sort of like flicked the switch in the brain, like, hold on a minute. And there was a moment, like I was speaking to you guys as well, like, this is a film. Although it ended up being like a movie, now it's multiple choice, and now it's absolutely so expansive and in like the best way possible, which is really exciting because we got more and more excited as we went along. But as soon as that was unlocked, it was like, yeah, sort of like swam out, like we can, oh my gosh, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. And that's when the train, the engine started rolling, and then what an absolute journey. So I think that after the first week, it was like, you know, tiptoeing in, feeling out. And then as soon as like that Friday came with Amari, it was like, here we go.
Jackson, the goodest boy. the bestest, goodest boy, Jackson. It's been incredible. It's been awesome. It's been so nice. Having, like, being really in the scene, and you know, you're moving a lot and you're doing a lot, and then you come out of the scene and you're like, I put a lot into that, I am knackered, and then you're laying there and a dog comes along and just starts licking your face or is hunting for carrots or something, and you just, it makes, you know, it really, really makes everything good again. We love dogs.
It was really amazing listening to Joel talk about how climate change is affecting him, because I think people in the Western world often think that it hasn't hit us yet. people in the Western world think, you know, okay, it's going to hit us, but it's going to happen in 20 or 30 years, and it's people often in the developing world who are kind of having the effects now. And it's true that they're disproportionate. People in the developing world are disproportionately affected by climate change, and the effects that they are having are much more extreme. However, to hear it from someone who owns and works a forest and have him say, this is affecting right now, and we are having troubles, you know, growing things, and, you know, the climate is changing in a way that means that trees are not behaving in the same way as they have done for thousands of years, is quite terrifying. And to hear him say simple things like, because of light pollution, the birds of prey are now hunting at night because they can see, and they're getting confused and they don't understand that it's not daytime. So there are other birds that are kind of dying out because they have not been used to hiding from the birds of prey. It's just kind of little things like that. Like you don't even think about light pollution being the big issue. You think of, well, it's just lights, it's just what's going to happen. But then you think actually one little thing like that could cause the dying out of a lot of species of birds. And then the knock-on effects of that. What does that do to insects? What does that do to plants? It was really quite emotional to hear someone who, you know, is an older gentleman kind of looking back at his life and going, this is real, and what the scientist said is happening.
Like the concerns regarding like how we deal with the climate change going forward, and like whether there's personal actions that we can take that are gonna have a positive or negative impact. But also like for me, like when I watched stuff when I was younger, like especially like ensemble theatre and digital theatre like now, it's just the element of like fun and creativity that you can have. Like it's just, like watching that sort of thing is so like exciting, and you're just like, oh my god, like people could do that as a job, like that's fun, like, and just yeah, I think that's one of the things. And like there's so many little different pathways that you can take in the film that really show different elements of the story, different elements of the characters and stuff, and like just like the possibilities for storytelling are kind of endless. And I guess that's only going to grow with like growing technologies and stuff. So like if you're 12 now watching it, like just get on it. You can do this yourself. Like make your own. It'll be so fun. Like at school, like you've got a bunch of people you could work with. Like it'll be so cool. You could do the same different like.
We collaborated with Michael in the sense that we kind of, you know, didn't just expect him to come in as a camera person and capture everything. You know, he is a performer in his own right and understands stories. So, you know, when invited to kind of understand the story and think about the best way of telling it, empowering him to do so just benefited what we were doing. Same with the performers. You know, say performers, you know, artists. We've got people who can write, people who are who have brilliant kind of eyes for movement themselves, people in the cast who are great improvisers. So by initiating and engaging and allowing space for everyone to bring those skills to the table, you know, collaboration, it was easy.
This company, I love working with this company because you really feel like you're not just there to be a body in a space, and you're not just there to be like a walking, talking prop, which you kind of valued for like your mind and your contributions and your creativity. And I really, really love that about working with these guys. Yeah, because it really gives you this personal connection to the piece, and you have, you know, moments in it where you're like, that was my idea, and you know, that was something that I really cared about and I really thought was important to get in it, and they really listened to me about that. And it kind of gives you this whole other connection to the piece, and it makes you want to show it to everybody and things like that. So yeah, I think there's loads of things.
You vote with your wallet. Every time you spend money, that is a vote into what you want to continue happening, because the government can't control companies because they'll always find loopholes. So where you buy your things, where you spend your money, where you vote with your feet and your wallet, that's what's most important, I think.
I think one of the main things is like trying to open people's eyes on how much power there is in like making decisions. And I guess open up conversations. I think like slowly the world is waking up to realize that climate change and global warming are like such a tangible problem that will cost us the most precious thing we've got.
Yeah, I think it's really changed my perspective on like my future. I think until I did this, I always wanted to have kids, I always wanted to have a family, and now, I don't know, I want to be able to do that. And I think this piece is really important because it gives people hope, maybe, at the end. Yeah, I really want that. I really want that. So I want this piece to change the world just a little bit.